Hey there, everybody out there. It is I, Kibbs. I have taken over for Kana today, and we have a very special guest with us today. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Cassandra Grae.
Well, hi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Zach. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Funny story, we actually kind of caught you off guard a little bit, because apparently something got mixed up, and either we thought today was the right day or something, and we called you, and you're like, oh, hi, and I have no idea what's going on today.
It's okay. Well, yeah.
But we got everything worked out, so we're gonna go ahead and go on with the interview. All right.
All right.
All right. So, basically, we noticed that you were in BioShock and in Ratchet and Clank and everything, and we were all big fans of those games and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences with working on those games?
Sure. BioShock, the first one, I play the same character in 1 and 2, Baby Jane Spicers, who is this, she's basically a woman who used to be a really famous Broadway star, and she got so obsessed and so vain that she did so many plastic surgeries it actually messed with her brain.
Oh wow.
So she's one of the kind of zombies in the game, and she comes at you, and 1 second she's crying, and the next minute she's singing, and then she's coming on to you, and she's absolutely nuts.
Oh yes, I think I've killed you several times actually.
Yes, well, one of my older brothers is a huge video game fan, and when I booked BioShock, he used to, text me or email me every few hours and say, "I just killed you again," because he was so excited he got to kill his little sister. But yeah, it was a really interesting experience. When you do voices for video games, it's very different than when you do voice for commercials or cartoons and such. And it's very real and very intense, and you're in the booth for quite a few hours, and you're pretty much exhausted when you get out of there, and your voice is usually shot, especially since I had to, there's so many different ways that you can kill me, which is so fun. And
Right.
so I had to make all of those sound effects sound as real as possible. There's one time when I'm actually drowning, but somebody's drilling through me, so I had to sound like I'm drowning and being drilled through the heart. So yeah, I
It sounds
definitely
like it was a
needed
lot
a
of
drink.
fun.
I needed a drink after the sessions because it was a lot of work.
Right. So you had a lot of death scenes, or not necessarily death scenes, but death sounds, and those are usually pretty taxing on you. Have you ever had to take a day off afterward just for to cope with the strain on your voice and everything? Because
No, I'm a professional. We just, the show must always go on. So you show up with a broken arm or no voice, you just make it work. So
right. Well,
yeah,
behind the scenes, we were also talking about some of your on-camera and live action work. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
yeah. I was a guest star on Charmed on their last season. I played the queen of the wood nymphs. So, oh, it's interesting. Yeah, and I was basically trying to save my colony of nymphs from being destroyed by the evil forces. There's a lot of evil forces on Charmed.
Right.
So yeah, that was fun. And then I was also on the crime scene investigation. However, I unfortunately ended up on the cutting room floor. If you blink, you pretty much miss me, which is not fun, but it is what it is. Still
Yeah.
got a credit. That's the most. Oh, I was on Carnival. I don't know if anybody remembers that show, but it was amazing. Just this dark, twisted show on HBO called Carnival, and I always seem to be playing these very unusual characters. I have such a sweet voice, and yet I'm always like a cult member or a prostitute, or in Carnival I held up a gas station with a sawed-off shotgun and start hysterically laughing. I mean, it so goes against my type because
Right.
I look one way and I sound another way, but apparently I must have a hidden dark side that casting always seems to see, because those are the types of jobs I get. Just like BioShock. I mean, Baby Jane she's crazy. She's crazy. She's one of the most craziest characters. She's completely off her rocker. So
Actually, I think
fun.
there's a little bit of a thing with that. It seems a little creepier if someone doesn't necessarily have a creepy voice, but they have a sweet voice, the sort of juxtaposition of you're in a creepy situation, but you hear the sweet voice, but it's all the more creepy because of everything that's going on around you.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that a lot in horror films when they take a sweet little child and then, it's the opposite, meaning it's a cute-looking child, but then they make them speak a certain way or vice versa. Yeah, it kind of plays against the character. So, but it works really well. Somebody, I don't know who, but somebody took all my voice clips from, I think, BioShock 1, maybe 2, I'm not sure, and posted them on YouTube, which I had no idea. One of my good friends called me and he's like, do you realize your voice is all over YouTube? And I said, are you joking? So I logged on because that's pretty cool. And I couldn't believe, first of all, how many hits I had gotten, but second, the comments that people were making about me was hysterical. I mean, I was reading it. I mean, they love this video game, and they're so there was no negative comments by any means, but there were definitely some off-the-wall comments that people made, and I'm sitting there going, I'm a real person, don't you know?
Did you happen to comment back going, oh, wow, thanks?
I thought about commenting back and saying, but I thought it would be a can of worms, so I read the comments and got a big head for a matter of minutes and then forgot about it, but it was a really fun thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, you can jump on YouTube and check it out. It's under Baby Jane Splicers.
We know that they also have a few soundboards of some of the other characters and whatnot.
On YouTube. I'm curious to know who puts these up and where they get them. But
I think they actually crack the game's code open and everything, and just take out all the sound clips and all the movie files and everything and whatnot. Questionably legal, but who cares?
Right. Well, apparently these people need a day job. They got way too much time on their hands.
They need a job in the gaming industry and do something productive.
Absolutely. Hey, put your talent to use. Yeah.
Right. But speaking of talents, I heard you backstage talking about a screenplay that you're actually working on. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or do you want to keep that under wraps?
Well, I can speak a little bit about it, but right now it's in the hands of different producers and people, so I can't say too much. But
tied up by NDAs and whatnot.
It's getting there. It's kind of we're trying to decide who's going to give us the most money and which direction to go. But I wrote it, and I'm planning on starring in it. The screenplay is called The Token American, and it is based on a true story. I would say it's about 80% true because it's something that happened to me in my life. Years back, I actually fell in love with a man who didn't speak any English whatsoever, and people thought I was absolutely crazy. But no, it was a very unique love story. It was years ago when I was a broke, struggling actor and wasn't making ends meet, and I worked in a restaurant, and here this guy from Argentina came in to be a dishwasher, and I ended up marrying the dishwasher. It's pretty crazy, but we used to communicate with a dictionary because we couldn't talk. But I was head over heels in love with him. I married him. I think I was married to him for like 6 years.
Wow.
So it's the story of that and being exposed to that culture, which is a very unique Latin culture. It's very Italian, and it changed me forever because being an American, and I've had other foreign friends that have joked that when you're born and raised here, it's like Planet America. We really we live in our own little bubble. We really don't know what other people go through and what other people see, and we're entitled, and we take a lot of the things that we get easily for granted. And
Yeah.
when you are thrown into another culture like that, it really makes you question your own ethics and morals and what you thought was important. So there's a lot of morals underneath the writing in the screenplay. A lot of it is ethics. A lot of it is the pecking order and how I was judged for dating this guy that appeared to be on the bottom of the barrel, but little did they know he was a lawyer in his country. So it's a lot of it's a love story, but there's more to it than just that, because I end up falling in love with his family, and I get the family that I always wanted.
Right. It actually sounds like it'll be a really good movie and something I would really want to see.
Well, I hope so. It's it's going to be a little bit before. Right now, it's just on the table. So
right.
I'm trying to say something, but not say too much, because it's you got to be careful when things are not, papers aren't quite signed yet.
You don't want people taking your idea.
Well, they can't. It's copyrighted and it's registered, but still, you just, maybe it's superstitious, I don't know, and then you also don't want to break any sort of laws.
Definitely.
That's protecting people.
Never fun to break any laws.
No, that's not fun.
But yeah, that sounds very interesting, and we'll definitely keep our eye out for those. Eyes open or eyes out. I don't even know, what's the saying. Eyes out. We'll definitely watch for that movie in the near future.
Between the two of us, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what the saying is. We'll keep our eyes open for it. There you go.
There we go. We'll keep our eyes open for it. Oh man, that was terrible. But
cool.
You also said that you had a very interesting and unique story about how you got into voice work.
Yes, I was in my early 20s, and I stupidly followed a boyfriend across the country to Boston, where we lived for a short time, and he had been an actor before, and he decided he wanted to be an actor again, and I was just happy to come home. So, because I'm from California, never really spent much time in Hollywood, but I've lived here my whole life. So when we came back to Hollywood, very shortly after being here, we broke up, and I was young and heartbroken and stupid and feeling that my life was over. And what was very interesting to me is I've had this voice my whole life. It actually was quite more high-pitched at a younger age, and kids can be cruel and say crappy things, and I used to be teased relentlessly for my voice, to the point where I was afraid to speak in public. I had such anxiety and panic and fear over people's reaction, and I carried myself with a lot of insecurity, and it was not something that I felt was a good thing at all. And then suddenly when I came to Hollywood, people were complimenting me, which was, imagine, your biggest insecurity or something that's really not okay, and suddenly someone is saying it's a good thing. It was quite shocking. Here for maybe a month, and somebody approached me and said, "Do you do voiceovers?" And my response was, "I don't even know what that is." And he said, "Well, people will pay you for your voice, the voices on the radio." And he had to explain to me. So this man set me up an appointment at ICM, which is, at the time, was the biggest voiceover agent in the world. They're still huge. They're still the CAA, William Morris type status, but they no longer have a voiceover department. But at the time, their department was this big thing, and I waltzed in there, heartbroken and insecure, and they had me read, and they signed me on the spot. And within that first month, I booked my very first gig, which was the voice in a Barbie commercial. Oh. And I became the voice for Barbie for years. I did almost every commercial that would come out. I would do, the voice that speaks through, and I'm trying to think of a line. The Barbie Magic Hair. The Barbie Magic Hairstyler CD-ROM comes with Windows 95 and your own printer. So that's kind of what they would have. The voice would have to talk really, really fast because you'd have like 2 seconds to say like 12 lines. So that is how I got my start, and I'm not a bitter actor. I never have been, because to me, Hollywood is the only place that will pay you for your insecurities. So, and it's the reason I got into on-camera as well, because I started to do such a good job with voiceover, and my voiceover agent actually said, you know, you need to do on camera, and he's the reason. And so I branched into that and then started to realize that I had talent that I didn't know that I had. And that scared, insecure, no confident little girl is now gone, and no one ever teases me about my voice anymore. They usually just compliment me. It's pretty ironic.
Oh. Yeah, that's actually like a really nice story, which would probably make another good movie.
Well, one thing at a time.
just some ideas to throw out there.
Yes, there's many things I could write about, but I, chose the most sellable one.
Right. Well, I'll definitely be looking forward to that, and maybe your future other screenplays if you become a famous Hollywood screenwriter, and you're the next big name in Hollywood movies.
Well, we can only hope. I just like to make money with my talent, my voice, my acting skills, my heart. So it's it can be a beautiful industry, and it's I get to go to work and play every day, and not a lot of people can say that. So it's an honor, and I feel it chose me. It found me. I never would have been an actor. I was so insecure. It's very ironic.
It's like a fairy tale story of, just insecure little girl gets picked up off the street and becomes a superstar.
Well, let's not go as far as a superstar, but I definitely have been able to support myself and make a living with acting and voiceovers, which is truly a blessing. I think people get stuck in a job or in a way of life that they really don't want to do, but they have to, and it's depressing. So I do feel really lucky that I'm able to do something that I enjoy, and it's fun.
Well, that's good. But I don't want to keep you too long because we sort of caught you off guard a little bit, and you're probably expecting another phone call a little later on.
I'm so sorry. I think it's my fault. I think I got the days wrong, so I do apologize.
No, that's okay. But before we let you go, is there anywhere that our fans can sort of quote-unquote stalk you? Like, do you have a Twitter or a fan Facebook page or anything?
I do have a Facebook account. I'm not real big on Twitter, but you can find me on just my name, Cassandra Grae, and the last name is not spelled like the color. It's Grae.
Right.
So to back there. Just friend me, and I'll accept you, and go from there. I'm not I do check my Facebook, but with Twitter, I'm not quite sure the draw. I don't really think anyone cares that I'm driving to the grocery store. I don't really get it. I don't know.
It's a big marketing tool as far as I can see.
It is, and I should probably, as an actor, do that, but you can stalk me on Facebook, and I think that's probably the only place right now is Facebook.
All right.
I have to go home and change my settings and make sure people can find me.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll tell everybody to hold off on the Facebook for now.
Yeah, I think I have it so private that you couldn't find me, but I'm not sure. I don't know. That side of my brain, the computer side, that doesn't work. I've got the creative side, and working with computers or telling my north from my south, forget about it. That side doesn't work.
But we also have one more tradition before we let you go, and then we'll let you go right after this. For all of our voice actors and everything that we have on for interviews, we ask them if they want to do a radio bump for us.
Do a what?
a radio bump for us, like, how on the radio they'll be like, you're listening to yada yada yada, and this is, Jimi Hendrix or whatever.
Oh, yes. No, I will absolutely do that for you. It would be an honor.
All right, and our favorite part of this is we ask them to do it live on air so we can get any mess ups or anything.
Oh, God, you guys suck.
I know.
Okay, do I need a pen? Do I need to write this down?
You might want to write it down. A few people do, some of them don't, but all you need to say is, my name is Cassandra Grae, obviously. I do this, like I'm a voice actor, I do voiceover work for video games, or I'm an actor or a screenwriter or whatever. And you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
We got to say that again. 91.8?
91.8 The Fan.
The Fan, not plural, not fans.
No. You can say fans if you want.
Okay, and do you want me to specifically say the voice work that I've done, or just actor?
I'm going to leave that up to you.
Oh, gosh, the pressure. My goodness.
No pressure, no
so
pressure.
Nervous. All right, let's go.
All right, whenever you're ready.
My name is Cassandra Grae. I'm an actor and a writer, and you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
Well, that was good. No mess-ups.
Hey, I'm an actor. And I wrote it down.
All right.
It's like, oh, gosh, no, memory doesn't work anymore. I wrote it down.
Well, good. Well, it was a pleasure having you, and thank you for coming on the radio today.
Thank you so very much. I do appreciate it.
And we will definitely look forward to any future projects we have. We're going to, we're on live, but we also record the interview so that we post it up later for anyone who happened to miss it. So we will definitely post up all of your links and everything that we find up with that post.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day, okay?
All right, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.